Okay, we're back. Now, we've actually created the form as you saw, so the next thing to do is we need to create the funnel itself. So we're going to go into funnels, and over here you've got the green button that says new funnel. We'll select on that. We're going to give it a name. Funnel ebook or ebook funnel, whatever you like. And then we can go and edit it. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to give it the first step. Again, we're going to funnel name. Funnel ebook. Create that. Now here we can actually set up where we want to go. So if I go to settings here, for example, we need to make sure that it's connected to the outside world, and we do that by connecting it to whatever domains you have connected to your CRM. So in this case, I'm just going to select that one. We scroll down and hit save. And then you'll see that once we close this and we come back, you'll actually see now we've got a link. Now I don't like this 1-800 at the end of it, so I'm actually going to go into the publishing section here, and I'm going to delete that bit and say funnel ebook, update it. Then we'll come back to overview, and you can see here that it looks a lot better. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add a second page, and this is the thank you page. Okay, so we're going to go, just call it ebook thank you. Thank you. Okay, create that. And we've got that here as thing. Now, I'm just going to go back into the forms before we set up this up, because we said before we had the forms. This is the link that we want. So I'm going to just copy that to the clipboard. We're going to go quickly back into the forms. I'm going to open up the funnel ebook form here. So I'm just going to click on that, edit it, and we're going to go to the options. And where it says here, open the URL, that means go to another page when the form is submitted. So we're just going to enter that in there and then save the form. Okay, so that's the form done. Now we need to come back to the funnels. So again, I'm just going to click on the funnels here, and we're going to create the first page. So we just create from blank. First thing we need to do is add the first row or the layout. So once this loads, we can get sections, rows, whatever here. Going to make it full width. We want to add a row, and I want one column in there. I'm going to, when this comes up, I'm going to add an element, and it's a heading. Right? So I'm going funnel ebook, right? And then we need some text on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add this in here, and I'm just going to say, let's add a paragraph underneath it. Now we can format this out later, but in here, I'm actually going to change this text that we see in here. So I'm just highlighting the text, and I'm going to open up my notepad where I've already got a little bit of information in here. I'm just going to grab that, copy that to the clipboard, go back in here, paste it in. Doesn't look great at the moment, so I'm just going to delete some of the stuff in here, make it look a little bit better. We can actually pad this in so it comes in a bit, so I'm just going to make it, let me get rid of some of these blanks first. Yeah. So we're going to just pad that in a little bit so that it comes in. So I'm just going to scroll down here and change some of the padding. I'm going to pad in from the left, take it in about, I don't know. We'll take it to 100, and the same for the right padding. We'll take it all the way up to 100. So it gives a little bit of layout. So this is all up to you about layouts. We can also check the top and bottom padding as well. So if I want to, say for example, move that down away from the funnels, I can do that by moving this up and down. So the layout is purely up to you. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add 2 columns in the next section. So I go to the blue bar here, because if we look at this one here, it allows us to add headings and subheadings. If I move down to the bar, it allows us to add columns. So I'm actually going to go with 2 columns. In this section, I'm actually going to put the picture, right? And I'm going to select an image down here. So we just scroll down to where we find images. I'm going to select the image, Now, in order to change this image, we need to scroll down to where we see this little image location here, or the icon. So we can go to click on the icon here. We don't have the image in our library at the moment, so we're just going to go and upload an image. I've got one here for the ebook sitting on my desktop, so I'm just going to click on that. It will load it up down here, and it's loaded it up. So I'm just going to double click on it, and that will now load it onto the page. Okay, and then here I'm actually going to create, I can add the form here. So if I go to and move down to where it says forms, which is here, I can actually select the form, and the funnel ebook form, and it places the form on the page. So that's all straightforward, right? Well, I want to take that to one stage further, because what I want to do is I actually want to put a button on here that says download, and they will open up the form. So I'm just going to cancel that out. So I'm going to remove that. We're actually going to go the element here, and I'm going to select a button, which is up here. Okay, so we can format this button any way we want. First thing I need to do is actually change the words on here. So I scroll down the side over here, find where it's actually got the text for the words. It's got them here. So I'm just going to change it, and I'm going to okay, we'll change that. And I don't like the square corners, so I'm actually going to look at changing that. And in order to do that, we need to go into the advanced mode. And we scroll down a little bit. It says, what borders do you want? Well, we need to make sure it's got a full border. But what I want to do is I want to give it a radius. So I'm going to select, move down here. I like it somewhere around 100, and you'll see why in a moment. So it's got 100. So it gives it a nice curvy bit. Okay. And there is a couple of other things that you can do here. You can add some animations to the button as well. And usually I like, it says here, button effects. So here, I usually like the rocking one, but you can have a play with these and see what ones you like. I like the bouncing button, so it actually just bounces up and down. If we have a look at the rocking one as well, that's pretty good as well. So, you know, I think the bouncing gets the attention, so I'm going to leave it at that. And so this now is our page. The only issue we've got is now what happens when I hit the button. Okay, we've got nothing selected. So if we go back to the general option here, when we scroll right down to the bottom, it says, okay, what happens when we click the button? Now, normally you could send somebody to a website, you can get them to do lots of things, to call, SMS, or whatever. In this case, I want to open up a pop-up, but we don't have anything in the pop-up. So if we look up here, we've got a pop-up option. So if I select pop-up and I go, okay, add a row, I'm going to make it one column. I'm going to add an element. And guess what we want to add? We want to add a form. And I select the form. And the form is funnel ebook. Right? And now we've got the form that pops up nicely on the page. So I think that's it looks a lot nicer. It's more aesthetically pleasing. And I think it's just, for me personally, I like the option. Plus it means that somebody has to take action on this. So that's it. That's the page set up. Now you can obviously add more information on here for your page, but that last bit was just asked me if I wanted to put anything on the page for SEO purposes, and at this stage I don't want to do that, so that's why I cancel that. And I'll just double save, make sure it's saved. We'll come back out. We'll get to have a look at the link that we need to share for people to get it. So we've got the funnel ebook, the thank you page. Right, so and we haven't created a thank you page. Now, the thank you page is pretty basic. You can and I'm not going to complete that for you, but I will obviously for myself, and you'll be able to check it out after the video is completed by going to the link above. But when you create the thank you page, all you've got in it is a link to the virtual ebook or whatever your offer is. So when they click on that, so we'll put something in there. I'll put a placeholder in there for now. We'll just put one line in that says thank you, because we want to test it and make sure it all works. Okay. I'm just going to put it in here. Running a little bit slow. the element, heading, so that should give us enough to save it and make sure it all works. Again, this is the bit that you can actually put in SEO information here to help you get seen on Google. We're not going to worry about that for the moment, so I'm just going to cancel that and double hit the save button to make sure it's saved, and we'll come back to have a look at the complete funnel. Now in normal funnels you can obviously build this out, so you've got a lot more steps in your funnel when people do take certain actions. So if I go back to the first page, this is our link. We're going to have a look at that by clicking on the square box with the up arrow here. So it's come up here and it's got the button. We click on the button and our form opens, and when the form opens we'll fill it in. It can automatically fill my stuff in here. I'm just going to hit the submit button and we've got to our thank you page. Okay, so that's a quick demonstration of how funnels work and how you can build them out. If you've got any information or you get stuck on anything, as always, reach out, let me know, and we'll help you achieve what you need to achieve. Okay guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video.